In this video I'll be showing you how to change your Xbox Series X controller into the best looking third-party Starfield Constellation controller straight out of AliExpress. Alright, so let's go ahead and change over the full housing of this series controller. This is the robot white one, and here's my Starfield AliExpress replacement. Obviously this is not official, and it comes with all the bits and bobs that you need to install everything that's on this controller. Here's all the bits, all the buttons, a couple of springs there, analog sticks and everything. So they really give you everything included to make your controller look like an official Starfield White Collector's Edition controller. Now, I'm not too sure if I need to replace everything here, but at least we have the option to. Quality wise, it seems pretty good. This still has the rubber texture at the back of the battery cover. Front facing faceplate seems okay. Managed to scratch it a little bit when I was opening the package with my scissors, unfortunately, but you can barely see it on camera, but there is a little scratch there. But this seems solid enough, maybe a little bit more flimsy than the original, the plastic. This feels a bit more smooth than the official robot white. And then we also have this middle bit, which this looks identical, so maybe I don't need to swap everything out in the middle part. Just need to change over a couple of buttons maybe, but the good thing is this is the same color, because if this wasn't, then maybe I would have to replace everything here. If you're looking for a replacement limited edition shell, then you can pick these up from AliExpress for around £20, well that's like $24–25, which is a reasonable price. I actually got this quite cheap as well, for like 23 on eBay. So in total this is like £40, maybe just a little bit more, considering the Starfield controller is way more expensive, but all the internals are just, you know, a regular series controller, which is why I decided I want to do this modification here. Right, let's get started. What you need is a TR6 torx screwdriver and a TR8 as well. You need a pry tool. I would get a couple of these, maybe not so much the metal one, but these plastic ones will help you not scratch anything on the controller. And that's pretty much it. I am going to use this heat gun here just to soften some of these clips at the back, and also carefully remove the warranty sticker. You can use a hairdryer, you don't need to use a heat gun, but just for convenience, just because I have one, that's what I'm going to use. So the first step is to remove the battery cover. I've got a battery pack here, so it's a bit awkward to remove this. Set that to a side. And we should have two screws on this side, but we need to remove these clips at the back. Same goes for the other side. And then I'll screw right in the middle where the warranty seal is. What I'm going to do is use my heat gun just to soften the plastic here to make it more flexible, so I can remove these side grips here. Now you don't need to go too close, just close enough just to make this warm. I use the lowest settings on the heat gun. Now just work your way around the back, and you should hear some like clicks. I managed to find one little opening here. It's best to use multiple clips or pry tools just to keep this in place, else if you let go it will just snap back into place, and you don't want that. Just working my way around. You can hear where the clips are popping. I just used my fingers and just ripped it open, but there we go, that's one side off. There we go. Managed to rip it off. Luckily, you see where the clips are. They're still intact. Right, sweaty hands. Here's the torque screws. I think these are the T8s over here. So just unscrew them. Once that's done, we need to remove the screw that's hidden behind the warranty sticker here. So just get your heat gun or hairdryer. I mean, you can just poke it through if you don't care about the warranty, then you can just break the sticker and unscrew from there. In my case, I'm just going to heat this up for a little bit. But just be really careful with the sticker. I can see where it's starting to peel off. Sticker is slowly peeling off, which is a good sign. We just need to get to the screw bit. Don't need to take the whole thing off. There's the other screw that we need to remove. That can just go back in place, and it looks like it's never been removed before, so pretty simple if you want to keep your warranty sticker intact. Now that your screws are all off, you should just be able to remove the front face and faceplate. You can remove the back as well. So it's pretty simple. Looks like I have to transfer a couple of things from the original backplate onto the new one. So it looks like I need to put the battery connector, but I think they've given me one. Right, this battery connector bit is pretty simple. This has to feed through and clip on. I managed to just press these together and push it in, and there we go. Our battery connector is in. The other side is empty, and I think that's it for the back plate. Pretty simple, right? So we can put that to a side. Now these analog sticks just pop out just like that. So we're not going to use the black ones. So I'm just going to compare this middle part. This is the aftermarket one. This is the original, and they pretty much look identical. I do need to change these triggers because the Starfield one has the clear triggers. So these are just connected. Looks like a TR6 torque screw here on either side. I should be able to remove the shell of that. Or maybe I need to change this as well. So it looks like I do have to dismantle the middle bit, I think. All the other buttons, yeah. So I need to change these buttons. So right, so to remove this D-pad, we have to remove this like metal ring around it. That should just unclip. Just unhook it from the bottom and lift it out. I'm just going to leave that for now because we still need to get these triggers out. And these two clips here, I think we just need to push these out. So use your pry tool, pop these out. We should be able to have access to the triggers then. Whoops, a little bit too forceful there. Now we need to use our TR6 to remove these screws just underneath the triggers. There's two other clips on the side, so I think I need to pop them out. We still need to remove this middle part to get to the buttons, I think, so leave that to a side now. There's 2 more TR6 torque screws, and we need to just pop these open. Wires here that are connected to the board, just remember where they go once you put it back. Probably best to use tweezers for this. So you've got 2 PCB boards here which make up for the controller. Let's remove those screws. Once you remove these Bluetooth antennas, I think we can just take out, pop the vibration motors out of the. Just be careful not to. These will fling around, so be careful that these wires are still connected. Alright, so I just realised there are 2 more Torx T6 screws. One here and one here, so let's remove them. Bottom PCB board should easily just pop out. For some reason this vibration is... oh, can manage to get it out then. Need to put it out with force then, but just be careful because these pop out, you will have to resolder the vibration motors. We've still got cable connected on either side of here, so I just need to see where this cable is going and pop this out. So maybe I shouldn't have to hold the vibration motors while I do this. Okay, that is connected to the left trigger, and the other one is the right trigger. So I've loosened the left and right trigger cables. I can just pop this out, but it's still connected. Okay, so now that I removed the bottom PCB board, the middle one is still intact, and we've got 2 more TR6 screws here that we need to remove. From there we should be able to get to our buttons. So I'm not going to remove these triggers just yet. So 2 more in the middle as well, which I did not see. Now we have access to the main PCB board, and that just comes out like that. Pretty simple. Oh, the headphone jack had just come off, and that just rests here. It connects via the gold connectors, which you can see here. Lays on top of the main board. Right, so now that we're here, we can go ahead and place some of these buttons with the white ones. So removing the triggers now, I need to figure out how this spring mechanism works, because these I need to replace with the white ones. So I guess these slide out. Seems quite tricky to get out. The pin over here should slide off, and see where the spring is, because these don't just clip off like a PS4 controller. So maybe I can replicate that, because it's really hard to get off on the original. So I've lined it up where the spring should be. In theory, this will go in between, and then you get this little bit here. This will feed through the hole, so just line it up. And I'm pretty sure this goes this way. So it goes something like this, but I don't know if this is good enough. So there's a little lip there where that spring rests on. Right, so I've done one side. You see where that little catch there is? It clips on to a bit of plastic that sticks out, and that's where your tension is, but for some reason I'm just going to see what feels better. Both about the same really. The spring for the other one seems a lot bigger than this spring. I'm not too sure. but it works, and it's difficult to get this one off, so I'm just going to fit the other one on this replica housing. It's a bit awkward feeding this through because sometimes it doesn't really line up. I think that's in. Alright, so I managed to put these triggers on and they seem fine. I've also replaced all the buttons. Here's the main PCB board, and you can actually remove this, but I'm going to keep the original silicone for this, so that's where the buttons press. I'm going to clamp this down. Hopefully it stays put. It's always good to check that your buttons are in the right position, because you don't want to put it back and your buttons are like upside down, so just double check that before you put it back together. I think that's pretty good. Check your sync button as well, make sure that clicks in. I should be able to just put the screws back in now. That A is a bit wonky, so I do need to redo that bit. Now that the screws are in place, you can check back here to make sure the buttons are fine, which they are. And I'm going to put the bottom PCB back into place. Oh, I can't forget the headphone jack. So the headphone jack just places down here. It kind of lines up. I thought this side went at the bottom, but it actually stays at the top. The most delicate part is putting this back into place because you could damage some of these wires, so just be careful. And the vibration motors can be awkward. I'm not too sure the best way of putting this back. They literally just slide out, but this one's being a bit more stubborn. But I think that's in place now. They just slide in. There's a little clip here. Sometimes you can sort of like pry that open a little bit and then slide these in. But they seem fine now. So before you screw it in, make sure that your headphone jack is lined up, because those contacts need to be connected to this board here. Alright, so I'm going to connect the Bluetooth antennas back on just because I'm going to connect these Bluetooth antennas back on just because they're in the way. They are in. Let's feed this cable here, and this is for the trigger buttons. Now we need our clear trigger buttons, and we need the correct side. So we need the left side first. The vibration sits like snug in here, but I don't know which way. Alright, so I just need to line the motor, vibration motor, in the correct trigger shell. RT is right trigger, this is left trigger. That just sits into place, and then we need to screw this in. And it's very fiddly. I can see where this lines up here, but it's trying to fit the vibration motor inside of it and then lining it up. I found an easy way to put this trigger on. So what I've done is I've lined it up, placed it into this bracket here, line this where you see where it's cut out with this lip here, and this catches behind this plastic. So just line it up, make sure this doesn't catch the bit that sticks out here. So that's all together, and well, here we go. It kind of clips in. That's one side done. I'm not going to screw it in just yet, but hopefully there's enough giveaway for this vibration motor to spin, which seems fine actually. Maybe I can just screw this in right now. Next is this side here. So I'm not going to worry too much about sorting this cable out just yet. I just want to make sure this is in first. There we go, it clips in just fine, and there's enough space for this cable to stick out as well. So I think that's the hardest parts done. Now it's pretty straightforward from here on. Those triggers look fine. Let's clean up these cables around the side. Even though I did hook these back in, they've come unhooked. I did the best I could to wrap the trigger cables all the way around. It's not the best, but they're in there now. That seems fine as well. So next I'm going to put the D-pad in, so grab your new D-pad. Need to remember which way this went. I think it was this long bit goes to the bottom, and where there's two hooks here is at the top. Press on it just to make sure that it makes that clicky sound. Up doesn't seem perfect for some reason, I'm not too sure why. Actually it's a lot better now. Just seems a little bit loose, but once everything is back in, it should feel okay. Now we need to put the top part back on, which should be simple. Can't remember which is the OEM version. Doesn't really matter which one I use, I suppose. They both look identical. So these hook on the side, and have I got it in the right way? It's easier if I just line it up with the sync button. It snaps into place like that. And this part should, does it go this way? Maybe I should have put this first. We're almost there, we're almost done this now. That feels fine. So I've got the back plate now, and let's see if I can just slide that in. I do need to install where the charging port is, so that should clip on. I don't know if I've messed it up. So let's remove this again. This definitely goes here for sure. This slides on top. Okay. Just snaps into place. I just made it difficult for myself for no reason. So this needs to go first, and then you put the port cover on. It snaps into place. Now we can line this up. That's looking pretty snazzy so far. Get our new D-pads. Try and put these in, but they seem to, there we go. There we go. Everything seems fine. Voila! I think that looks amazing. I'm going to test this out before I screw this back into place, but I think it should be fine. Alright, so I had to disconnect the triggers. Reason being is because I connected this up to Gamepad Tester and the triggers were not responding at all. And what a lot of tutorials out there do not mention, or there's a lot that do not replace these triggers. Replacement housing, full housing set did not include these magnets that are hidden in between this plastic. So because these are Hall effect triggers, they activate with the magnet touching the board. Yeah, that is something that was not mentioned at all, and I was wondering why the hell these were not working. Everything else was working. All of the buttons and the bumpers were working. I don't know why they don't include the magnets, because you can easily think that, I don't know, you've broken your controller because you didn't put this magnet in, which they don't include. It's actually quite hard to get out because it's wedged in there. So here's our two magnets that we need to replace, and it's quite hard to get out, but basically all you have to do is like pull this little tab forward and it should just drop out. I can't remember which way they go. I think there's a little dot in the middle, maybe this, if this was smooth on this side, so I'm gonna try this way. If it doesn't work, then I'm gonna have to flip the magnets again, open this up and flip it again. Pretty sure it went this way, dot facing flat and the smooth side facing forward. Let's hope that this is correct. Now I need to put these triggers back in, which is not very easy to do because they always misalign. Our triggers are on. I should probably test this out before I put everything back together as it should be. Alright, so I got this plugged in. I'm just going to test the buttons to make sure they respond and they don't stick. Okay, that is sticking a little bit. But I think once the shell is on, it's because this is sticks out too much at the top, so it makes the trigger stick a little bit. But the triggers are working, so that was my issue. It was the magnets that were not in place. All the directionals work and the analogs as well. Start and select and the sync button, so I can disconnect this now and put everything back together. There's one more thing I forgot to mention, is that this is the original back casing, and over here we have these little contacts, spongy, stickery contacts there, which the trigger touches every time you press it in. I think it kind of just softens the touch. It makes it less loud when you're hammering the triggers. So what we need to do is remove these little adhesive stickers. I'm not too sure if they're going to stick well with the new case though, because that's another thing that they do not provide. Not too sure why. If I take this off, I feel like the adhesive is not going to be very good. Yeah, it doesn't seem like this is really going to do anything. It's just going to fall off. I've already peeled the bottom part, so I think I might leave this bit. Once you peel it off, there's no more adhesive. It doesn't really stick on. I guess it doesn't really matter. It just makes it slightly quieter, I guess, when you're pressing in. Yeah, because you can hear the difference. So I managed to use the heat gun to get rid of one. As long as it's in place, it would just stay there. But that one actually is sticking a lot better. I should have just used the heat gun in the first place, but because I've kind of ruined this one, there's no adhesive to this anymore. I definitely want to have something in place to make that not as loud. So I've actually got some of this spongy foam sticky tape, and I've cut the most tiniest sliver to replace the one that I've ruined. It seems to be double the thickness though compared to the other one. So you see, we're going to try it there. Hopefully the adhesive is still okay. It's at least yeah, double the size of the other sticky tape. You know what? Let's see what it's like. Oh, it does make a difference. Makes it a lot quieter. Kind of see there where it hits. It's right at the bottom of this trigger, that plastic that hits the spongy tape. This side, because it's thinner, it makes more of a clicky sound. At least I know my trusty foam sticky tape worked, because I've had this for a long time and I've never really needed to use this. Alright, so we're almost there. All we have to do now is put our analog sticks back in. Test your buttons again, make sure they click in. Now the front facing faceplate. Let's put the screws back in. I might stick this sticker, the serial sticker, warranty sticker, onto this one, maybe, because they don't provide you with one, so you're kind of left with an empty back plate there. Oh, I need to pop these open. Okay, they're a lot easier to take out. I've got all the screws back in now. Let's see if I can transfer this sticker over. Get it nice and hot. Jesus, that is boiling. And scrape this off. Got to do it quick before it cools down. It does make it a lot easier to peel off once the sticker is really hot. So I'm just trying to pull at it and peel it off at the same time so it doesn't form too many creases. There we go. Sticker is still intact now. Need to be quick and try to apply this. The problem is you got to get it dead straight. There we go. I think that looks good. Obviously it's not perfect. You can see a little bit of creases from the corner, but it is on there, so that's the main thing. It doesn't look like it's been tampered with as well, so you know, maybe you can get away with warranties and stuff like that. We can pop these side bits back on. And that's for the wrong one, is it? No, that is the right one. That doesn't seem the most flush, especially this bit here. I think it looks okay though, like the front facing bit is fine. Maybe the A is slightly like to the left, as you can see. Doesn't feel like it's getting stuck. D-pad feels okay. That top bit feels a little bit loose for some reason, but it is clicking. And now back cover now. slides out quite easy compared to the original, but it's fine. I think it looks really good. It took me a while to do. No one really mentions how to get rid of the triggers or even the little hidden magnet as well, so that was quite annoying. Even on iFixit guide, they do not mention how to take the trigger apart, or from what I saw anyway. I was stumped to why these were not working until I realized that these function through a magnet. But yeah, other than that, you know, pretty simple replacement if you're looking for a cheap way of getting a Starfield controller. Then you just get the housing for it, get a cheap series controller and just do it yourself, rather than spending a fortune, because essentially the Starfield Constellation controller is a normal series controller, just with a fancy lick of paint and some rubber backs. Everything's the same. So yeah, if you do have any questions about how to change your Series S, X controller, then please comment down below. If this tutorial has been useful for you, then please give it a like and subscribe. And I'll see you again on another video.